Hi there, Loy Machedo speaking to you from loymachedo.com. Who's Loy Machedo? Think personal branding. Okay, what's the time? 3:29 in the morning. It's one of the best times to actually analyze an article. Couldn't sleep. So anyway, drinking espresso. And so another Bloomberg article bashing Dubai. Dada. And links are put down below. Okay, this is from Bloomberg. It's actually the article that is titled "Dubai's latest boom is pricing out expats it once coveted." Okay, an influx of wealthy Russian crypto millionaires and bankers have pushed up rental prices and raised barriers to entry. Okay. Now, if in case you cannot read the article, that is because Bloomberg is behind a paid service. I've put another link that is from moneycontrol.com. They have the same article, but it's free to read. So in case you have access to Bloomberg, then the Bloomberg link is put. In case you don't have that, then Money Control. Now, I'll read out the article and then I'll give you my complete analysis of the article. And you tell me if I'm right or wrong, especially if you are based in UAE. Because keep one thing in mind, okay? Before I even do analyze, understand this much. We kind of notice this happening in the United States. Fox News supports Trump a lot, supports the Republicans. But then if you see any other media apart from Fox, say, for example, CNN they might bash up Trump and they might say stuff about Trump that is totally negative. Then if you have another, let's say, Wall Street Journal, okay, they might say negative about Trump. Vice is very anti-Trump. So now the question is, if you are biased towards one particular news channel, let's say you only like to listen to Fox, you'll say Trump is innocent, Trump is God sent, Trump is good for United States. But if you go to something like Vice News or Wall Street Journal, then you will say totally the opposite. Trump is a very evil person. Trump is, the second coming of, say, mini Hitler, okay, so to speak. Now, what is important is you read both the sides and then you kind of evaluate, okay, this is what they're saying. So which one is right? What I tend to do is if I read an article, I'll read for, I'll read against, and then I contact people who are based in UAE. Okay. And given the fact that I lived there 40 years and I have friends who stayed there 3 generations, it becomes a little easier. Okay. And people open up to me because, obviously you can't open up in the UAE market. Okay. You can't freely mention your views because otherwise you'll get into legal trouble. It's very obvious. There's no freedom of speech, so to speak. And nowadays, I think whether it's India, whether it's United States, whether it's any country in the world, anything that you post online, even India, which is supposed to be a democracy, you post something online, you can be taken to court. If you have one of the most powerful dynasties, that is Rahul Gandhi, being taken to court and removed from parliament, and he can be jailed for almost 2 years, which is not. I mean, then what happens to normal people? So I'll analyze this article based on the information that I've received from people who are based in UAE. You can tell me if I'm right or wrong. And yes, analyzing both for and against. Now, the overall summary of this article, I read it a couple of times. Need to drink the espresso. Ooh. Okay. I wrote down my notes, by the way. See, what they're trying to say is Dubai's growth now, especially after COVID, now it's fueled by these wealthy Russians and wealthy Ukrainians, okay, who have come there. Cryptocurrency millionaires and billionaires who are running away from all these rules and regulations. They said bankers, but I would also say people, in the underground, not as like mafia and all that. Yes, they are also involved. That is always there. But you're talking of businessmen who don't want to be taxed or don't want to be known. Okay, let's say I'll give you a very simple example. I know of a very, very rich guy, okay, who is based in UAE. He lived in UAE right from, I think, 1970s with his family. Now, he had the option to go back to India, okay? But if he goes back to India, he knows the money that he takes and the wealth that he takes, eventually he will be taxed. And he is like, why should I pay 30% or 40% or whatever the percentage is? Why should I give it to the Indian government when I lived my entire life in UAE and India has not given me anything other than this passport? That is his logic. So he chooses to stay in UAE, and even though he has to maybe take a gold visa or maybe he has to take a business visa and retire in UAE, he prefers that. Even though the lifestyle in UAE, he has to pay more money. It's more expensive. He chooses to be there. So a lot of people are trying to be smart with their money. And when you're talking of any investment where you can put 100 and get 1,000, why not? So you have all these kinds of people who stay in UAE. So that is the first one. And now when you have high network individuals come into the country, obviously there is demand. A simple logic I'll give you. I stay in the on the island of Koh Samui. Okay, I stay on the island. And if you have followed my videos all through pre-COVID and all that, you would know that this island was, I think, almost 90%, 90% empty, totally empty. There was nobody here. I mean, people were literally dying. The local Thai population, the business houses, they were dying for business. They were ready to give you a house, let's say the place where I stay, for 1/5 the price. Just come and stay. We just want you here. Roughly, let's say 5,000 baht. 5,000 baht is, say, $150. Okay, they said, please come, we'll give you. Now, the same space, which was selling for 5,000 baht a month, huh? Now the same is selling for 5,000 baht a day. I'm not exaggerating. This is not me trying to pull a fast one. I'm telling you facts. Why? Because where I stay, the whole bloody place was empty for almost 2 kilometers. There were plenty of houses. If you see me walking in the sun, most of my other videos, you would see that 2, 3 houses were empty when I was to walk in. People just ask me how much for this, for rent and all that. Today, all those houses are booked. And in fact, now they are cutting down the forest. One day, maybe I'll take with the camera and show you. They're cutting down the forest to build new houses and apartments because so much of demand has come. You have rich Chinese investors, you have rich, but here it's mainly Russians. All the rich Russians have come and it's selling like hotcakes. In fact, over here, you're even getting landlords asking the people who have signed long-term leases and all that, please, we want to break the contract, you leave, you're not profitable for us. So, it's like make hay when the sun shines. Everyone wants to make money. I'll give you a simple one final small example on Koh Samui. Coconut, no? Coconut water. Here's a funny thing. Before, they were selling for 5 baht. 5 baht is not even, I can't even give you an amount. 5 baht is not even 1 cent, less than that. 5 baht for a coconut. Okay. Now that same coconut, now they're selling for 50 baht. Just imagine where is 5 baht for a coconut. Now it's selling for 50 baht. And when there are walking street where you walk and people are selling stalls with food and all that, it goes to up to 200 baht. Where is 5 baht? Where is 50 baht? Where is 200 baht? Okay. So it's very simple. People need to make money. If you're running a business, you have to make money. If I'm a shopkeeper or I'm running a restaurant, when there is no business, I'll sell it for cheap to survive. But when there is plenty of demand, of course, I'll raise the prices. This is the same logic that is operating in UAE. So whether it's UAE, whether any country in the world, when there is heavy demand, people will raise the prices. And that is exactly why it's very hard to get houses, cheap, affordable houses in UK. All right. And that is the very same reason why now the property market is completely a mess. Before, during COVID, they were like, please, make it affordable to us. Don't take rent. And the government, US government was busy giving free money. Now people are kind of used to it and they're saying, we want still that same affordable lifestyle. You keep giving us money. But the government is saying, sorry, we can't do that. Now survive. Survival of the fittest. That is what is happening in UAE. Okay. So the article then says, because of this, it will impact everything. And what do you mean by everything? See, when the rent prices increase, rent is the major expense in UAE. In United Arab Emirates or the Middle East, uh, I'm talking of working class people. If you earn 100, at least 50% goes for rent, minimum 50%. In some cases, some people even have up to 60, 70%. And why people pay so much is maybe they don't want to travel, they don't want traffic jam, they don't want to travel long distance, and traffic can be a real killer. It can be very stressful. So people, let's say you're working in Dubai. Dubai is the main business hub. So you can have a cheaper house. Let's say, for example, if you have a house in Dubai and you work in Dubai, let's say, just to make maths easy, calculations, let's say the rent is 100 in Dubai. Okay, you stay in Dubai and work in Dubai, rent is 100. If you were to go to Sharjah, which is maybe roughly 40 kilometers or so, I think roughly, um, the rent would be maybe half. Maybe it would be 50%. Okay, let's say 100 is in Dubai, 50 is in Sharjah. If you go further down to Ajman, which is maybe now instead of 40 kilometers, you're going 60 kilometers, it will be, say, maybe 35, 40. If you go even further to Al Quwain or Ras Al Khaimah, then it might come down to 20. Okay, so I've given you 100, then 50, then 30, then 20. It can go to 10. Okay, I'm just giving you a rough estimate. You can calculate. But now the problem is rent is cheaper, yes. The travel time. Now you might say 40 kilometers is not very long. You can just drive fast. Yes, if the roads were empty, you can drive very fast. But if there's bumper to bumper traffic, it will take you, in Dubai, if it will take you 15 minutes to reach work, it will take you, let's say, roughly 45 minutes to 2 hours, sometimes in traffic. And then as you go further, you can say maybe even 3 hours. And believe it or not, there are a lot of people, especially the highest population is Indians. Okay. Anywhere you go, it's Indians. There are a lot of Indians, but there are also Egyptians, Palestinians, Pakistani, so many of these families that they don't mind traveling for 1 hour or 2 hours just to save the money. So, when the rent prices go up, if Dubai says, now there is heavy demand, it's 100, let's increase it to 200. Sharjah will say, oh, you guys have increased the rent. I'll also increase the rent. Why not? I also make some money. The landlords are exceptionally greedy. And this is a fact. We have seen this during every boom and bust cycle of UAE. If you have stayed in UAE very long, you'll know the minute UAE increases the prices for rent, Sharjah increases the price. Ajman says, hey, guys, I don't want to, lose out on all the fun. Let me also increase the price. So it's a domino effect. So when the rent prices increases for house, it increases for office, it increases for warehouses, it increases for everything. Then, obviously, if your expenses have increased and you're running a business, you'll be like, man, I'll need to make some more money. So the prices of goods and services, everything increases, even by a tiny fills. In fact, I come from a generation where, tea, it's called karak chai or karak chai. That used to be 50 fills. Then it became 1 dirham. Okay, you might say, hey, 50 fills to 1 dirham. Man, when you drink 10 cups a day, it does impact. Now I've even I've even heard people say from 50 fills it climbed to 1 dirham, it became 2 dirham in some places. Now it's even 5 dirham in some places. And now there are these new boutique tea shops which only sell tea. It's even 10 dirhams or something, which I was like, are you serious? 10 dirhams for just that same cup of tea which was 50 fills? So, well, I guess maybe standards have increased, but I know for a fact it's expenses, inflation, it's cost of living. So, all this is happening because high network individuals are coming into the country. Now, the problem is rich people, for them, it's not an issue. I know plenty of rich people, whether you increase 5,000, whether you put 10,000, they'll just throw the money. They don't care. Let's say, for example, someone is buying an iPhone, a rich person, You seriously think if Apple were to increase the iPhone from $1,000 to $1,200, they would say, "Oh, sheesh, it's so expensive." They would be actually more happy that this is more expensive because it becomes exclusive for them. So they are looking at uh, having the money and spending and enjoying their life, which is why in UAE you'll see the most expensive cars, the most expensive nightclubs, the most expensive restaurants, and Gulf News, Khalij Times, and Gulf News, Khalij Times, and the national paper, they will keep advertising about these clubs and these property and this luxury house and all that. Why? Because they want to attract rich people. Okay, so now when you have all these problems, what happens? More high network individuals come in, cost of living goes up, you have more luxury items which are being sold there, products. Then you have services. People have to be qualified to give you, let's say you go to a five-star hotel. If you're having a five-star meal, the guy who's serving you also should be highly educated, very classy. That also costs money. Then the ambience also should be, very chic and very expensive. Then you have to maintain all this. So for that, the focus will be them. And that is where the normal people, nobody will cater to them, or they will have very less options. And that is why they have to adjust their budgets. Now, for example, if I was paying rent, let's say 5,000, now they've increased it to 8,000. Now I have a limited salary. From where will I bring the rest of the money? I'll have to cut down on my shopping, movies, going out, fun stuff. Okay. Then you'll also see people readjusting locations. People who are staying in Dubai, in prime locations, when you increase 40%, oh, I can't afford this, then they'll move to other cheaper areas. So there'll be a lot of adjustments over there. Then, wait 1 minute. You'll also get um, rental market, which was primarily for survival. Means I'm paying to stay. Now people, what they'll do is they will take 10, 20, and this has happened where I'm staying. There was one, two, three, four empty villas that were here, which were totally empty for during COVID. And I've stayed here now for 6 years. Hardly anyone came there. In these 6 years, I remember only three families came, and they came for 2 months and they left, or 3 months and they left. Now, all these empty villas have been taken by one or two individuals. He has taken them on X contract, and he is, kind of leasing them, putting his, I don't know, surcharge or whatever. I suspect he's taking this, maybe roughly I'm saying off my head. Let's say, for example, he took it for 1,000. Now he is renting it out for 2,000. So he is easily pocketing money, but obviously he has contacts and connections. So now it's become more business centric, and this is the same trend that will follow in UAE, where before, let's say a landlord was offering for rent. Now he knows there's big demand, he'll increase the price. But the people who are buying it, and you will see this especially in Gulf News, Khalij Times, and National, oh, they have sold billions of dirhams worth of apartments. Oh, this whole building is sold out. Oh, we launched this new property. It's sold out within 1 hour. Who's buying it? You think it's hardworking Asians or hardworking expats who are buying these apartments, or they are taking it for rent? They have that much money? No. It is all business-minded people who want to take this in their name and then rent it out to somebody else, obviously on a premium. And you cannot stop this. Even though in some places they'll say it's not allowed. Well, who are you going to complain to? And do you have the money? Do you have the time? Do you have the energy to complain about them? And yeah, you can go to the rental committee, you can go to this committee, you can go to that department, labor department, or whichever department you want to go to. If you have time, if you have money, if you have the resources to waste, then go and complain. Otherwise, it's best not to get into that legal hassle. And finally, I think UAE, because of all this, what is happening is the focus is primarily now fast and furious. I need to make money as quickly as possible. That's all that they're looking for. They are not looking for anything else. Okay. So the entire article that this Dubai latest boom is, it'll give you a summary of all these, and yes, they will cherry pick examples. Now, the question is this article 100% true or is it false? Now, if you see I think Loving Dubai or something, there they have a bunch of people who are using Twitter and some influencers who are saying, yeah, expenses have gone up. Yes, inflation is high, but that doesn't mean UAE is, UAE is kicking out expats. UAE still welcomes expats. It loves expats. Okay, that is what they are saying. And on one side, you have Bloomberg that is showing you this nice little screenshot of grocery items, small baguette, then local chicken, tomatoes, fat-free milk, Coca-Cola, butter, sugar, toilet paper, the prices between Dubai and London. Obviously, they would be very selective what product they are choosing and from which brand or which outlet. Now, they have taken this source Waitrose Dubai and Waitrose UK website. If you take a simple grocery shop, a small little grocery shop, I'm sure it'll be much more cheaper. So I wouldn't actually base my research on just this one little graph. This is for people who have money, people who are rich. Yes. Why? Because you're not paying taxes. When you're not paying taxes, then you have excess money. So obviously the brands that are there, which are paying more rent, need to cover the rent. They're like, why not I charge you something extra as a premium? Okay. And in this article, they also give you this example of this couple that was they were asked to vacate their house. They agreed for $3,000 a month. Now they have to pay. After they were vacated, they found out that this guy is advertising for $6,000 a month. Well, that is business. What can you do? Are you going to take him to court? And if you are going to take him to court, do you have that kind of money? It sounds very nice in theory that yes, there's a committee to take care of you. They are there. They will always focus on you. No, end of the day, money talks. If you have the money, you have the resources, you can get away with a lot of stuff. Now, the other areas that they're focused on the article is they have spoken about Uber rides. They're comparing Uber rides of Dubai to Uber rides of New York. Then they are speaking about certain areas or certain apartments which are very, very expensive. Many people are not able to pay their day-to-day expenses. See, whichever country you go, end of the day, if you go to a particular country, if you don't have the money, they don't want you there. That's a fact anyway. In fact, here's a good example to give you. I saw on Instagram stories, most of the Western expats, they used to love going to Bali, they used to love going to Vietnam, they used to love going to, these third world countries like Philippines and even Thailand for that matter. Okay. But now the expats, all the Western expats who used to go to Bali because Bali was very, very affordable, now it's become exceptionally expensive. They gave this example of this one guy before in 200 to 500 US dollars. He was able to maintain his expenses per month. Okay. Now, over the period of the last 10 years or so, it seems from 200 to 500 US dollars, now it's gone to 2,000 plus dollars. The same, the cost of his budget to live. So you might say, sheesh, this is so terrible. But then the government or the business owner who's there, he's more like, I don't want backpackers. I don't want people who just can afford $200. I want people who can afford $2,000, $5,000, $10,000. So if I'm going to give the same house or same room or apartment to one guy who can pay me 200, another guy who can pay me 2,000, whom do you think me as a business person would prefer? I'd prefer the guy who's richer. So I don't see, I really don't think that this is terrible and all that. Look, you have to live with the times. During COVID, the whole economy was locked down. Nothing was selling. No businesses could survive. Nobody was traveling. Nobody was staying out. Nobody was eating out. There was nothing happening. How would people survive? Now, people are saying, I suffered for 2 years. I lost my savings. I lost my business. Now it's the boom period. I can make lots of money. I don't care whether, their mentality is, I don't care whether it's a Russian billionaire, whether it's a crypto billionaire, whether he is part of the, what do you say, the Godfather family, or whether he is, whatever the hell he does, whether he's a pimp or whatever. He's giving me money. He's doing stuff legally. I'm getting more money for bang for my buck, as they said. Why should I care? So this is exactly what is happening in UAE, and this is exactly what is happening in every part of the world. Now, what is the bottom line, or what is the main takeaway for you guys? See, the takeaway is very simple. It's survival of the fittest. Okay? If you're earning a salary, I've told you this so many times before. If you're earning a salary of, let's say, $1,000, okay, I'm just giving a rough figure. You need to figure out a way how you can get 1,200. Why? Because expenses are gone up. Expenses are gone up. There is inflation. Your purchasing power is decreasing. Rent prices 100% are going up. I told you this. Many people said, oh, fake news and this and that. Yes, it's going up. Transportation costs are going up. Electricity charges are going up. Water charges are going up. Then prices for basic commodities are growing, they are increasing. So when everything, the price is increasing, before on a budget of, let's say, 100, you could manage. But now you're realizing with 100, I can't get the same stuff that I wanted to. Either you can cut down to 80%, okay, either you can cut down from 100 to 80, or you can say, let me earn more. So your primary focus should be to earn more. And how do you earn more? Either your current contract when it's up for renewal, or you start searching for a better, well-paying job. And I had also told you this before. If people are readily offering you a job and saying, lock down with this salary, just take the job. I've always told you, something is too good to be true. It's generally, there's something fishy that you have to be aware of. And it was very simple. The reason why they're offering you this job and say, join fast, join now, is because the actual amount that you should be getting paid is maybe 20, 30, 40, or even 50% more. So that is why negotiate your salary very intelligently. Because at the end of the day, Dubai is a business house. They want to make money. Businessmen, they want to make money. Everybody wants to make money. So you as an employee who is getting a fixed salary, you better figure out ways. Either you can cut down your costs or you can increase your revenue. You choose what you want. Anyway, for me, I look at UAE is going to continue. UAE is going to continue attracting high network individuals, people with lots of money, people who don't want to be taxed, people who don't want questions to be asked. Where did you get your money from? Cryptocurrency millionaires, billionaires want to hide from being investigated. There are a lot of these, like Dr. Rahuja, who's that crypto queen or who escaped. They say she's there. Many of these crypto in a Binance. Why is he kissing ass Dubai and saying, "Oh, I love Dubai" and all that? Why all these billionaires, millionaires are there? Because very simple. You bring all your billions and millions and keep it here. We are not going to ask any question. Just don't do anything illegal here. That's their policy. So as long as you do that, we are happy. That is why all the Russians, Ukrainians, Indians, Pakistanis, they are bringing all their wealth, putting it in these Middle East countries. No questions asked. Live your luxurious life. Give us our money, whatever we want as a premium. You enjoy your life. We enjoy our life. Nothing done. The people who will suffer are the salaried people. The 80-20 Pareto principle. The 80% they will suffer, and between themselves they'll have to struggle. So Dubai is focusing on the rich, high network individuals, while the rest will have to slog it out. After all, isn't this what a capitalistic economy is all about? Anyway, this is what I wanted to share with you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree, disagree? And how are you finding it? Are you finding it easy to survive, average, or is it becoming tough? Let me know in the comments below. Got this funny nose here. Let me drink one minute. That's cold. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. This is me signing off. You guys take care. Ciao. Bye.